Golfers are in many ways rather understated athletes. Their craft doesn't require a million hours in the gym to be as ripped as possible or to be able to sprint a new world record. But in order to gear themselves up for a round, golfers definitely have their fair share of unusual practices and rituals. And today, we're going to take a look at the weirdest habits we could find. First, we have Bryson DeChambeau. Bryson DeChambeau is definitely a bit of a strange one when it comes to golf. Unusually for a professional golfer, he has a degree in physics and uses his scientific knowledge to improve his golf game. He actually worked out using his physics knowledge to change the length of his golf clubs to get the perfect swing. Before every single shot Bryson makes, he has a mental checklist of 7 things that he thinks about every single time. We happen to have this list right here, and it is air density, elevation change, wind vector, local slope adjustment, rollout number, something that is top secret, and lastly, the shot shape. Lots of fans and players alike wish they knew what the secret 6th thing is, but Bryson won't tell. He insists it's something that not a lot of people understand, and he isn't ready to let the cat out of the bag just yet. Another strange pre-game ritual that Bryson DeChambeau has is to do with his practice sessions. In fact, he barely practices at all, only when he absolutely needs to. He doesn't believe in wasting time, and he gets as much useful information from every practice shot as possible so he can do as little as he can. Most pro golfers get as much practice, their warm-up on a new course as possible before an important round. But DeChambeau only does as many practice shots as it takes him to understand how to hit the perfect one for the real thing. He gets his deviation numbers, which is the 7 pieces of data we mentioned earlier, by doing a couple of warm-up swings, and then he's done. Once he's got that information, he knows what to do when he's playing the round. It certainly seems very bizarre, but it seems to work. Next up, Tiger Woods. If you've seen even a few of Tiger Woods' rounds, then you've probably noticed something that tends to be consistent between many of them. Tiger Woods frequently wears a red shirt when he's playing, particularly on Sundays, and always in the final round of a tournament he is playing in. People noticed after a while, of course, and he even got himself a nickname based off of his predictable style choice, Red Shirt. I mean, it's definitely a simple nickname, but it says what it means, I suppose. This isn't a coincidence, and he does it for a reason he has been pretty public with discussing before. Going back to the beginning of his legendary career, one of the most famous pictures taken of him, of all time, was back in 1997. He sank the final putt at Augusta National for the Masters, and the photo of him celebrating his win was circulated around the world, and he was wearing a red Nike shirt. And what started off this tradition? Tiger Woods revealed that he wears the red shirt in honor of his beloved mother, Kuldita. It was her idea in the first place that her son wear red, and he has stuck to it all these years. In an interview, he revealed, "I wear red on Sundays because my mom thinks that's my power color, and you should always listen to your mom." In February last year, 2021, Tiger Woods was seriously injured in a single vehicle car crash, and the sporting world was shocked, rocked to the core. And later that week for the PGA, the world's finest golfers turned up to play in the signature red and black combo that Tiger Woods has been known for throughout almost his entire career. These superstars included Jon Rahm, Cameron Smith, Mark Leishman, Tommy Fleetwood, Justin Thomas, Rory McIlroy, Patrick Reed, and Colin Morikawa. It's a whole ensemble of some of the greatest golfers ever to play the game, and they were all showing support for one of their own. He tweeted from his hospital bed after the event, while recovering from significant surgery to his right leg. His message to the world said, "It is hard to explain how touching today was when I turned on the TV and saw all the red shirts. To every golfer and every fan, you are truly helping me get through this tough time." It's pretty incredible how such a touching event can come from one strange pre-game ritual. Now we have Retief Goosen. The winner of 2 United States Opens, Retief Goosen has definitely had enough experience on the golf course to come up with his own theories and ideas about how to make things work for him. And it turns out that this does indeed also come down to superstition, or at least one weird pre-game ritual he has. The South African pro, who was elected to the World Golf Hall of Fame back in 2019, has a rather unusual habit to do with numbering his golf balls. A tournament has 4 rounds, and he makes sure to play each round of the tournament, wherever it is in the world, with a different ball. The first round must be played with a number 4 ball, the second round with a number 3 ball, the third round with a number 2 ball, and the last one with a number 1 ball. This all seems a little complicated and perhaps dramatic, but considering he has won the US Open twice in his career and was in the world rankings top 10 for 250 weeks, we feel like he might at least be onto something with this one. However, while we're on the topic of golf balls, let's have a look at this next weird ritual, marking your ball. Okay, so this is something that a lot of players do in a particular way. Obviously, if you have to move your ball out of the way before it is your turn to putt, the location of the ball must be marked on the course or green in a way that is legally recognized by golf. Makes total sense, right? However, there are a few pro golfers out there who always mark their ball in a very specific way. Jesper Pernavik, for example, a Swedish pro golfer, always does this in exactly the same way. He will always use a penny, and the penny must be tails facing up every single time. He isn't the only one though. Paul Azinger, an elite American golfer who won the PGA Tour a total of 12 times, was consistently spotted placing a penny down to perfectly mark the location of his ball. However, this penny didn't have to be tail side up like Pernavik's. Rather the opposite. The penny always had to have Abraham Lincoln's head facing up. And to go one step further, the 16th president of the United States had to be facing the hole every single time. Literally every single time. It must have worked though. He didn't get those 12 PGA wins for nothing. Another penny ball marker is Davis Milton, Love III, who won 21 events while on the PGA Tour and even won the PGA Championship back in 1997. His weird ball marking ritual involved a penny like the previous two pro golfers, but this time the penny had to have been stamped before 1970. He preferred using a penny from 1965 or 1966 if at all possible, and he insisted that any stamped with the date from 1970 or more recently were bad luck. We aren't quite sure where that could have come from, but it definitely stuck with him. John Cook had a particular routine for marking his ball, but it was nothing to do with pennies or presidents. Instead, this American golfer, who was on the Ryder Cup team back in 1993, had an incredibly unusual and specific method for marking his ball spot on the green with something a little more distinctive. He would use small pictures of states where he had previously come out on top in a tournament. Maybe he was reminding his ball of all the good times they had playing to inspire it? Who knows? I certainly don't, but it definitely seemed to work for him. To be honest, golf as a whole is one of those sports with lots of rules and etiquettes which are general to golf as a whole and not just single players. So it makes sense that people who love this sport would be drawn to having unusual tendencies that take things nuances a little bit further. For example, it is an absolute must that spectators and other players are completely silent and as still as physically possible when a golfer is getting ready to take a shot. This is a little bizarre, as in many games the crowd gets fired up to encourage the athletes who are working so hard for them. Not golf, however, as silence is golden. Not only that, but you also have to be careful you don't stand in the wrong place, even away from another golfer. Basically, don't be in a golfer's field of vision when they're playing or anywhere near his ball. That's all we have for you today. I hope you enjoyed this weird list, and we will see you next time.